Hey guys, Cory here with Ferris Fitness. Today I want to look at an exercise that I see done wrong all across gym culture, and it's going to be an incline Smith press. So when we're talking about a Smith machine, I want to kind of go over why it's different than an incline barbell bench press, and it's going to be one main reason. It's these little rods here. They're called guide rods or stability rods, and what these are responsible for is stabilizing this bar. So when we're benching with the free barbell, we have to try to stabilize with our shoulders, preventing it from going left to right. So we're using our medial deltoids to do so. Now on a Smith, we don't have to do that because of these rods here. It can only go up and down, which makes this a really popular choice amongst bodybuilders and other gym goers really trying to work their upper chest or just chest in general. So now that we know the difference of it, let's go ahead and set this machine up. I want to do a couple tests here first. So my first test, I'm going to slide this bar down, and what I'm looking for is that this bench is centered in the middle of this soft surface. So right here, I do a little knuckle test. I'm looking about, 2 knuckles here, and I might slide this over. So I can see my bench is slid too far to the right here. So we're just going to even this out first. And we can kind of check it again here using our eyeballs, or also, just measuring like this. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's centered. Now let's look at one more test here before we even start. So we're gonna lay down and we're gonna check the placement of this. So since we know this is an incline Smith press, we know the target muscles of this exercise are here in the upper chest. So since we can't control this, since it's not a free weight barbell, we can't control this forward and back. We can only let this come up and down. So we wanna make sure this is already lined up with our upper chest, or we're gonna be using the wrong muscles. So let's test. Okay, in this circumstance, I'm pretty happy with where this is, but let's just say it was landing up here. I'm just gonna slide the bench until it's starting to land here on my upper chest. So do not be that person that's you're letting the bar fall down here on your rib cage, or same up here on the clavicle. You're not gonna be using the muscles there if it's not falling on top of it. And furthermore, you're gonna risk injuring your shoulders, and we definitely don't want that. So now that I'm pretty happy with the positioning here, I'm gonna put some warm-up weight on here. I'm not looking for my working weight here. I just wanna make sure I'm getting the right muscles activated and it's feeling good before I load it. All right, it's time for some warm-up reps here and kind of talk about some other mistakes I see with the incline Smith. So let's do a couple warm-up reps, make sure it's falling on my upper chest. Perfect. Feel it activating. So let's go ahead and talk about getting this bar off these hooks. So obviously we're gonna push up, pull back, but when we get here, if you look at my palms with this bar in it, this doesn't look very comfortable. It's sitting right in the middle of my palm, so it's gonna create a lot of tension right here in the wrist. So we're gonna go ahead and fix how that lies. So instead of this, we're just gonna kind of hold one side, slide those hands back until this bar is sitting in the bottom of the palm. Now, whether you decide to hook those thumbs around or hook the fingers around or keep them back, completely up to you. This would be a suicide grip here, just whatever's more comfortable. And now we're gonna kind of let that slide down. Test again. Good. I don't feel any tension in my wrist. So let's run through another thing I see here that's a very, very common mistake. Is going to be the hand positioning on this. So I'm going to get a lot of crap from this from a lot of people in the comments. I already know that, but this is not how you incline Smith press. This wide grip. And the reason being is the tension coming on the shoulders here. If I'm making this big L with my elbow, then you're gonna have a weak chain, which is gonna go through the shoulder. So even pressing like this, I feel my anterior deltoid activating, and I'm gonna skip my chest. Another way I like to think of this is not a fly pattern. So when you're trying to spread the pec apart, yes, it makes sense in a fly, but we're not trying to spread the pec apart here. So there's actually a good way to measure where your proper grip is gonna be. It's called the Ackerman process. Little bumps right there, and you measure times 1.5, but for me, I kind of already know my grip. So you want ideally about one hand outside of the front of the shoulder. So for me, this is gonna look like this, and we see that my wrists are right over my elbow. This is gonna be a proper grip because you're gonna use the upper chest to push this now and not the shoulder. Another thing I'm trying to watch out for is where my chest is lying. I like to think of the first line of defense. Whatever's the highest towards the ceiling is gonna be doing all the pressing. So if I'm letting my chest fall into the bench like this, my shoulders and my chest are gonna be the same height right now. So that means I'm gonna be driving a lot with my shoulders again. So all we wanna do is kind of pump the chest up just a little bit. And now my chest is closest to the ceiling, so it's gonna be getting the most work. So let's go ahead and bring it all together and look at a couple of reps here. We have that bar at the bottom of the palm, the elbows are in, they're not flared out. So underneath the wrist here, and we're gonna push. Now, instead of just repping away and not paying attention to what you're doing, we're actually trying to focus on the muscle. We're trying to push right here, squeeze those muscles, really engage them. We're not trying to rush through these and go check Facebook and stalk our ex. We don't care about that. We're in the gym, we're here to work. So that is the incline Smith press, the correct way to do it. No wide grip, keep those elbows in, keep your chest up, and keep your shoulders safe. Thank you guys.